not a whole hell of a lot. Now, there is something that will be important to retail, though, and that is the Frostbrood Proto-Worm. So, I think for a long time, people have said, like, hey, you should probably do some more crossover between your games, you'd juice more engagement, or at least, maybe they haven't advocated for that, but people have noticed that that's something they could do, right? Remember the Hearthsteed and all that? Well, they're doing that, so if you complete the Death Knight starting experience in Wrath Classic, you will unlock this.
A very cool Frosty mount. Very nice. It is actually, I think that's one of, like, the nicest worms there's in the game at the minute.
Oh, dope mount, yeah.
Which is where I get a little bit frustrated. So I'm like, why is that the nicest? And I can just do that. Because it's like, so you do play another Blizzard game for it. And obviously the DK Indoor experience in the original one is great. It is fantastic. Especially back then before I know heirlooms were brought in Wrath, but like back then before basically you could one-shot everything, there was like a decent enough gameplay to it, and it was an enjoyable experience. A little bit more of a grind now, but like it's good and all. But the problem is that it's the equivalent of an advertisement, right? It's the same thing as, oh yeah, just watch these ads and we'll give you a mount, but with a little bit more invested. I mean, it's completely their prerogative, but it's like, man, it's like the nicest mount. It's like, it's to me better than the class mount version of, like the class mount for DK is nice, but like the Frost version, this looks better than it. I mean, obviously that's a little bit personal and subjective, but it's like, man, why are you devaluing all the mounts I like by making nicer ones that I can get for advertisements?
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, but yeah. I'm not going to say that they're not allowed to do cross promotion.
Of course they are, yeah.
Right? Like, this is the sort of thing that you could, I mean, you could see, like, the FF devs doing something, I guess, very easily as well. Look, you don't actually need to have a level, I didn't know this, you don't need to have a level 55 character in order to make a Death Knight on a non-fresh start realm. So you can just head to an existing, TBC Classic realm, make a Death Knight, a few hours, get the experience done, and, you can actually do the DK starting experience with DKs, being how they were at launch.
Yeah,
so I feel like
not really, because because 3.4.5 I think it's technically called is a very different experience from Wrath launch DKs.
Yeah, I remember those. Yes, that was quite a time.
Yeah,
but it'll be a more like classic feeling version of DK. So yeah, you can do that if you have a few hours, and it's not like you need to buy the thing because you already have it with your sub. So
yeah, I'm playing your sub, yes.
Yeah, true.
So I said implying. I meant assuming. Sorry, I meant assuming your sub.